Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am so grateful you have joined me today, and I can't wait to dive into something that has the power to change your life. Love is not an abstract emotion. It is a deliberate decision that reveals itself through actions, consistency, and purpose. True love is not merely spoken. It is demonstrated in ways that touch your soul and affirm your worth. When a man is madly in love with you, his heart aligns with his actions. You'll never have to guess his intentions because love, when genuine, brings clarity. One sign of a man's deep love is his commitment to your growth. He doesn't see your success as a threat, but as a reflection of his care for you. He celebrates your victories, whether big or small, and challenges you to reach heights you didn't think were possible. His love is the kind that encourages your dreams and stands as a pillar of strength when you feel weak. Another hallmark of true love is his willingness to sacrifice. A man who loves you deeply doesn't prioritize his comfort over your happiness. He goes out of his way to ensure your needs are met, even if it requires him to stretch beyond his limits. His love becomes a selfless act, not for recognition, but because your joy matters to him. You'll also recognize his love through his emotional consistency. Love that is true remains steady through seasons of life. It's not swayed by challenges or fleeting emotions. He shows up day after day, proving that his affection is not dependent on convenience. His actions echo a silent promise: I'm here no matter what. Lastly, a man who is madly in love with you includes you in his vision. He doesn't see his future apart from you, but intertwines his dreams with yours. He plans, builds, and creates a life that has you at its center. His love doesn't just focus on today. It is anchored in a desire for a shared tomorrow. Love is intentional. And when it's real, it leaves no room for confusion. If his actions uplift you, protect you, and honor you, then you're witnessing a love that is rare and profound. In such love, there is peace, not chaos, clarity, not doubt, and mutual respect, not selfishness. When a man loves you like this, cherish it, because it reflects the essence of love as it was designed to be: pure, purposeful, and transformational. When a man is truly in love with you, his heart is devoted to seeing you grow into the fullest version of yourself. He understands that love is not about controlling or limiting you, but about nurturing your potential. His love becomes a driving force that encourages you to pursue your passions, goals, and dreams with confidence. He doesn't feel threatened by your success. Instead, he takes pride in it, seeing your achievements as a testament to the partnership you share. This kind of devotion shows in the way he speaks to you and the actions he takes to support your growth. He listens to your ambitions and provides thoughtful guidance when needed, without forcing his own agenda on you. He creates an environment where you feel safe to explore new opportunities and take risks, knowing that he will be there to support you if things don't go as planned. His love is not about competition, but about collaboration, always encouraging you to rise higher. A man devoted to your growth also invests his time and energy into helping you overcome challenges. He celebrates your progress, no matter how small, and reminds you of your worth when you doubt yourself. Whether it's encouraging you to take on a new role, pursue further education, or simply build confidence in your abilities, he stands as a steady source of motivation and inspiration. He respects your individuality and understands that your growth might take you on paths he cannot always walk with you, yet he never tries to hold you back. His support is a reflection of his genuine love, as he wants to see you flourish in every area of your life, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, and professionally. Through his devotion, you feel empowered to become the best version of yourself. When a man is madly in love with you, his love reveals itself through sacrifice. Sacrificial love is not about grand gestures for show. It is about the quiet and often unseen decisions he makes to prioritize your happiness, well-being, and needs above his own. His actions stem from a deep, genuine care for you, demonstrating that he values your heart more than his own comfort. This kind of love is evident in the little things he does daily, whether it's adjusting his schedule to be there when you need him, letting go of personal preferences to accommodate your desires, or stepping in to lighten your burdens without being asked. His sacrifices reflect his heart. These are not acts of obligation, but expressions of love, willingly offered because your happiness matters more to him than convenience. Sacrificial love also means standing by you when life gets difficult. When you're facing challenges, he steps up to provide support. Even if it requires him to put aside his plans, he will work harder, stretch himself further, and give more of his time, energy, and resources to ensure you feel secure and cared for. His love is not transactional. It's rooted in selflessness, showing that he's invested in your well-being without expecting anything in return. This love also requires humility. He may have to let go of his ego or pride for the sake of harmony and growth in the relationship. He is willing to make compromises and put your relationship above his personal interests because he values you that much. Sacrificial love isn't easy, it's intentional, patient, and enduring. Through these sacrifices, he communicates a profound truth. You are worth everything to him, and he's willing to give his all to see you thrive. When a man is madly in love with you, one of the most reassuring ways he shows it is through emotional consistency. Love, at its core, requires stability and reliability, and his actions consistently affirm his feelings for you. Emotional consistency means he doesn't waver in his commitment, affection, or care, regardless of external circumstances or life's challenges. It's the steady presence of his love that provides you with security and peace, eliminating confusion or doubt about where you stand in his heart. This consistency is reflected in his behavior. He doesn't change how he treats you based on his mood, stress levels, or the opinions of others. Whether he's having a great day or facing difficulties, his respect, kindness, and consideration toward you remain constant. You can rely on him to be present and supportive, not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's difficult. The steadiness builds trust, allowing you to feel safe in the relationship because you know his love isn't fleeting or circumstantial. Emotional consistency also shows in how he communicates with you. He doesn't send mixed signals or leave you guessing about his intentions. Instead, he's clear, honest, and open, creating a foundation where both of you can thrive. He follows through on his promises and makes an effort to show up for you, proving that his words and actions align. Through his consistency, he demonstrates that love isn't just about grand gestures, but about showing up every day with the same level of care and dedication. His emotional steadiness becomes an anchor in your life, providing you with reassurance and a sense of belonging. With him, you never feel uncertain because his love is unwavering, dependable, and deeply rooted in a commitment to cherish you. And when a man is madly in love with you, one of the most profound expressions of his affection is his protective nature. This doesn't mean control or dominance. It means he instinctively prioritizes your safety, well-being, and peace of mind. His protective nature stems from a deep desire to ensure you feel secure, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually. It's a reflection of his care and the value he places on your presence in his life. A man who is protective pays attention to the details of your life, noticing what makes you feel uneasy or vulnerable, steps in, not to overpower you, but to shield you from harm in ways that respect your independence. Whether it's walking on the outside of the sidewalk, ensuring you get home safely, or standing up for you when you're disrespected, his actions reveal his commitment to your safety. This protection extends beyond physical circumstances. Emotionally, he safeguards your heart by being mindful of his words and actions. He doesn't exploit your vulnerabilities or take your trust for granted. Instead, he creates a space where you can express yourself freely, knowing your feelings will be met with understanding and care. He's attuned to your emotional needs and offers reassurance when you feel uncertain, reminding you through his actions that you're not alone. His protective nature also manifests in the way he supports your growth and dreams. He encourages you to pursue opportunities while being mindful of any challenges that may arise, always ready to stand by your side. His concern for your well-being is not rooted in fear or control, but in a love that seeks to see you flourish without unnecessary burdens. In every sense, his protection is a quiet but powerful testament to his unwavering love and devotion. When a man is truly in love with you, one of the clearest signs is the unconditional respect he shows. Respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and when it's unconditional, it transcends circumstances, disagreements, or external influences. It means that no matter what happens, he honors your worth, your individuality, and your boundaries. This respect is not contingent on what you do for him or how you make him feel. It is rooted in his recognition of your intrinsic value as a person. Unconditional respect is evident in how he treats you daily. He listens attentively when you speak, valuing your opinions even when they differ from his own. He never belittles or dismisses your ideas, and instead he engages with you in a way that uplifts and empowers you. His words are thoughtful and kind, even during disagreements, as he avoids saying anything that could harm your dignity or self-esteem. This respect also extends to your dreams, goals, and aspirations. He doesn't undermine your ambitions or try to redirect your path for his convenience. Instead, he encourages you to pursue your passions and celebrates your achievements, showing pride in the person you are becoming. He understands that you are a unique individual with your own purpose, and he supports you in fulfilling it without trying to mold you into his ideal image. Moreover, unconditional respect is reflected in the way he honors your boundaries. He understands that your comfort and well-being matter, and he never pressures you into situations that compromise your values or make you feel unsafe. His respect fosters a deep sense of trust, allowing you to be vulnerable and authentic in his presence. In every interaction, his actions communicate that he sees you as an equal partner, deserving of honor, appreciation, and love. When a man is truly in love with you, one of the most profound ways he shows it is through transparent communication. Genuine love thrives on honesty and openness, and a man who values you deeply will make it a priority to share his thoughts, feelings, and intentions with you. He understands that communication is the cornerstone of trust, and he ensures that you never have to second guess where you stand in his life. Transparent communication means he is not afraid to express his emotions, even the vulnerable ones. He opens up about his fears, dreams, and struggles, trusting you enough to let you see the sides of him that others may never witness. He doesn't bottle up his feelings or leave you to decipher his actions. Instead, he uses his words to clarify his intentions and provide reassurance. This openness extends to how he addresses challenges or conflicts within the relationship. Rather than avoiding difficult conversations, he approaches them with a willingness to find solutions together. He speaks with respect and listens attentively, ensuring that your voice is heard and your feelings are validated. He doesn't resort to manipulation, lies, or silence to control the situation. Instead, he fosters a dialogue that strengthens the bond between you. Transparent communication also means he's consistent in his words and actions. He follows through on his promises and maintains a level of integrity that builds your confidence in him. He doesn't withhold information or keep secrets that could harm the trust you've built. His honesty creates a safe space where you feel comfortable being your authentic self, knowing that he values openness as much as you do. Through his communication, he demonstrates his love by making you feel seen, heard, and deeply understood. When a man is madly in love with you, one of the most significant ways he shows it is by including you in his vision for the future. Love isn't just about the present moment. It's about building a life together that reflects shared values, goals, and dreams. A man who loves you deeply doesn't see his journey as separate from yours. Instead, he actively works to intertwine your paths, making you an essential part of his plans and aspirations. Shared vision means he doesn't make decisions in isolation. He consults you, values your input, and ensures that the direction of his life aligns with yours. Whether it's career goals, family plans, or personal growth, he includes you in the conversation because he sees your partnership as a foundation for the future. This collaboration creates a sense of unity and purpose, reinforcing the bond you share. This vision isn't just about long-term goals. It's reflected in how he approaches the day-to-day aspects of your relationship. He invests in building a strong foundation, knowing that every step forward contributes to the bigger picture. He's intentional about creating a life with you that's fulfilling and meaningful, whether that means supporting each other's ambitions, planning for financial stability, or dreaming about the kind of home and family you'll create together. Yet, a man with a shared vision also demonstrates a deep sense of commitment. He doesn't just talk about the future, he takes concrete actions to make it a reality. His plans aren't vague or uncertain, they're specific and they always include you. He sees you as more than just a companion. He sees you as a partner, someone who will walk alongside him in life's journey. Through his shared vision, he shows that his love is purposeful, enduring, and grounded in a desire to build a future together. In love, true commitment is not defined by mere words, but by the actions that speak louder than any promise. When a man loves you deeply, his devotion manifests through his unwavering commitment to your growth. His sacrificial love, emotional consistency, protective nature, unconditional respect, transparent communication, and a shared vision for the future. These qualities combine to create a relationship where you feel cherished, valued, and secure. Understand that love is not passive, it is active, intentional, and steadfast. If he is madly in love with you, he will not only say it, but show it in every interaction, every decision, and every plan. Love that is pure and true is built on these principles and will stand the test of time. Never settle for anything less than the kind of love that makes you feel seen, heard, and understood, because you deserve nothing less. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am so grateful you have joined me today. And I can't wait to dive into something that has the power to change your life. Respect is not given freely. It is earned through boundaries that define who you are and what you stand for. The most respected individuals are not those who conform to every expectation, but those who unapologetically establish limits that protect their integrity. Boundaries are not walls to isolate you, but gates that allow the right people and opportunities into your life while keeping harmful influences out. When you know your value, the world will know it too. People observe how you treat yourself to determine how they will treat you. If you tolerate disrespect, you invite it. But when you refuse to accept anything less than what aligns with your worth, others will rise to meet the standard you set. Setting boundaries is not about confrontation. It's about clarity. You must be firm but fair, letting others know where you stand and what you expect. A man who communicates his expectations with respect earns admiration because his words carry weight Ambiguity breeds confusion, but clarity cultivates confidence in your leadership. Time is a currency that cannot be replenished. When you value your time, you teach others to value it as well. Respect is lost when you allow distractions to dominate your priorities. Guard your time fiercely, and you will find that people will learn to honor it. Emotions are powerful, but when left unchecked, they can lead to chaos. A man who practices emotional restraint under pressure shows strength and wisdom. Respect follows those who remain composed, who do not lash out impulsively, but instead respond with measured grace. Emotional stability inspires trust and earns admiration from those around you. Your standards are a reflection of your identity. If you settled for mediocrity, others will assume mediocrity is acceptable for you. But when you hold yourself and those around you to a higher standard, you inspire excellence. People respect the man who refuses to compromise on quality, whether in relationships, work, or character. Finally, the company you keep is a loud statement about the kind of person you are. Choose relationships wisely and ensure that those closest to you share your values and vision. When you surround yourself with people of integrity, ambition, and respect, you elevate your own character in the eyes of others. Remember, boundaries are not barriers. They are pathways to respect. The boundaries you set today will determine the level of respect you command tomorrow. Respect is not something you demand. It is something you attract by living a life of clarity, purpose, and unwavering principles. Let your boundaries speak louder than your words, and watch as men not only respect you, but aspire to walk in the strength you embody. Knowing your value is the foundation upon which respect is built. It is the realization that you are not defined by external validation, but by the intrinsic worth that comes from understanding who you are. When you know your value, you carry yourself with confidence, not arrogance, because you understand that your worth does not fluctuate based on the opinions of others. This self-awareness shapes how you interact with the world and how the world in turn responds to you. A person who knows their value sets the tone for how they are treated. They do not allow disrespect to take root in their lives because they recognize that tolerating such behavior diminishes their dignity. When you accept less than you deserve, you send a message to others that your boundaries are negotiable. But when you stand firm in what you know to be right and fair, you command respect without ever having to demand it. This animal of mine, knowing your value, also means being selective about where you invest your energy. You don't chase validation or approval because you understand that those who truly recognize your worth will align with your vision. This mindset prevents you from wasting time on things or people that detract from your purpose. It allows you to focus on opportunities that match your potential and relationships that enhance your growth. When you operate from a place of self-worth, you inspire others to see you through that lens. It becomes evident in how you speak, how you carry yourself, and the standards you uphold. People are drawn to those who exude a quiet confidence rooted in their sense of value. This is not about being boastful, but about living with a certainty that your presence carries significance and your boundaries deserve respect. Being firm and fair is a delicate balance that earns trust and respect from others. To be firm means standing your ground on principles, decisions, and values that are important to you. It is the ability to say no when necessary, even in the face of pressure or opposition, without being swayed by fear or the need for approval. Firmness is not about being stubborn or rigid. It is about demonstrating conviction and consistency in your actions. When you are firm, people know where you stand, and that clarity commands respect. At the same time, fairness ensures that your firmness does not come across as harsh or unreasonable. Being fair means considering the perspectives, feelings, and needs of others while maintaining your boundaries. It is about listening with empathy, understanding the context, and making decisions that are not only just, but also compassionate. Fairness communicates that you are not self-centered, but operate with integrity, valuing the dignity of those you interact with. This balance of firmness and fairness builds credibility. When people see that you are consistent in your principles and equitable in your actions, they trust your leadership. They know you will uphold standards without bias and handle challenges with both strength and grace. It also makes your boundaries more acceptable because they are grounded in reason and respect, not personal gain or control. Being firm and fair requires self-discipline and emotional intelligence. It means not letting emotions dictate your responses, but instead approaching situations with clarity and purpose. It shows others that you are reliable and balanced, someone who can be depended upon in both calm and difficult moments. This blend of strength and fairness creates a lasting impression, fostering mutual respect and admiration in all areas of life. Respecting your own time is one of the most powerful ways to communicate self-worth and establish boundaries. Time is a resource that cannot be replenished. Once it is spent, it is gone forever. Recognizing this truth compels you to guard your time as a valuable asset, ensuring that it is used purposefully and not squandered on meaningless activities or unproductive relationships. When you respect your own time, you prioritize what truly matters. You become intentional about how you allocate your hours, focusing on tasks and commitments that align with your goals and values. This requires discipline and the courage to say no to distractions or demands that do not serve your greater purpose. Saying no is not an act of selfishness, but a declaration that your time has value and that you will not allow others to waste it. This principle also extends to how you manage interruptions and boundaries with others. If you allow others to impose on your time without limits, you inadvertently teach them that your time is less important than theirs. On the other hand, when you set clear boundaries around your availability, people begin to understand and respect your schedule. They recognize that you are a person who values productivity and focus, and they adjust their behavior accordingly. Respecting your own time also means avoiding procrastination and inefficiency. It is about showing up for yourself by being organized, prepared, and committed to the tasks you've set out to accomplish. This discipline sends a message to others that you take your responsibilities seriously, which in turn earns their respect. Ultimately, how you manage your time reflects your priorities and self-respect. When you treat your time as valuable, others will follow suit, and you will create a life that is both purposeful and respected. Standing by your principles is a testament to your integrity and strength of character. Principles are the core values and beliefs that define who you are, guiding your decisions and shaping your behavior. When you consistently uphold your principles, you send a powerful message to the world that you are a person of conviction, someone who can be trusted to remain steadfast even in challenging situations. Living by your principles requires clarity about what you stand for. It means taking the time to identify the values that matter most to you, such as honesty, respect, fairness, or accountability. Once these principles are clear, they become the foundation for your actions and decisions, helping you navigate life with purpose and confidence. There will be moments when standing by your principles is tested. Pressure from peers, fear of rejection, or the lure of short-term gains may tempt you to compromise. But it is in these moments that your character is revealed. Choosing to remain true to your values, even when it is difficult or unpopular, earns the respect of others. People may not always agree with your stance, but they will admire your courage and consistency. Standing by your principles also establishes boundaries in your relationships. It communicates to others what you will and will not tolerate, ensuring that interactions are built on mutual respect. This clarity prevents misunderstandings and helps you attract people who align with your values while discouraging those who don't. Let us be clear about issues and relationships. Remaining committed to your principles requires discipline, self-awareness, and the willingness to face opposition. However, this unwavering commitment builds a reputation of trustworthiness and authenticity. It shows that you are a person who does not waver with the winds of opinion, but stands firm, rooted in a deeper sense of purpose and integrity. Practicing emotional restraint is a mark of wisdom and maturity. Emotions are natural and powerful, but when left unchecked, they can lead to impulsive decisions, damaged relationships, and lost respect. Restraint is not about suppressing your feelings, but about mastering them, ensuring that your actions and words are guided by reason rather than fleeting emotional reactions. Emotional restraint begins with self-awareness. It involves recognizing your feelings as they arise and understanding their triggers. This awareness allows you to pause, reflect, and choose how to respond rather than reacting impulsively. A moment of pause can prevent a lifetime of regret, as it gives you the clarity to align your response with your values and intentions. Remaining calm in emotionally charged situations demonstrates strength and control. People respect those who can maintain their composure even in the face of provocation or adversity. Losing your temper or reacting impulsively often leads to outcomes that undermine your credibility and damage your relationships. On the other hand, responding with patience and measured words earns admiration and trust, as it shows that you are capable of handling challenges with grace. Emotional restraint also involves setting boundaries for yourself. It means knowing when to step away from situations that threaten to overwhelm you and practicing self-care to recharge your emotional reserves. This discipline ensures that you remain in control of your responses, even in the most difficult circumstances. Developing emotional restraint takes time and effort, but it is a skill that transforms how you navigate life. It equips you to face challenges with confidence, resolve conflicts effectively, and build stronger, more respectful relationships. Through restraint, you demonstrate that you are not ruled by your emotions, but empowered by your ability to master them. Refusing to compromise on standards is a powerful declaration of self-respect and a commitment to excellence. Standards are the benchmarks you set for your life, defining what you will accept and what you will not. They reflect your values, your expectations, and your vision for yourself and your relationships. When you hold firmly to your standards, you establish a foundation of integrity and consistency that commands respect. Compromising on standards may seem easier in the moment, especially when faced with pressure or the desire to avoid conflict. However, every time you lower your standards, you send a message that your principles are negotiable. This not only diminishes your self-worth, but also teaches others that they can disregard your boundaries without consequence. Maintaining high standards, on the other hand, communicates that you value yourself and expect the same from those around you. Refusing to compromise on standards does not mean being inflexible or unrealistic. It means staying true to your core values while allowing room for growth and understanding. It's about knowing the difference between making adjustments for practical reasons and sacrificing your principles. People admire those who hold themselves and others accountable to a higher level of excellence because it inspires trust and fosters growth. This commitment to standards extends to all areas of life, relationships, work, and personal goals. Whether it's expecting honesty in communication, quality in your work, or dedication to self-improvement, unwavering standards create an environment of respect and achievement. Others may resist or challenge your standards at first, but over time, they will come to respect the consistency and strength behind them. By refusing to settle for less than what aligns with your values and vision, you position yourself as a leader who inspires others to rise to their full potential. It is through this steadfast commitment that true respect is earned. Choosing relationships wisely is one of the most important decisions you will make in life. The people you surround yourself with have a profound influence on your thoughts, behaviors, and direction. Relationships are not just connections. They are partnerships that can either elevate you or pull you down. Being intentional about whom you allow into your inner circle reflects a deep understanding of your values and priorities. Wise relationship choices begin with self-awareness. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you can identify relationships that align with your principles. Surrounding yourself with people who share your values, vision, and commitment to growth creates an environment of mutual support and respect. These are the relationships that encourage you to become the best version of yourself. It's equally important to recognize relationships that drain or hinder you. Toxic individuals, negative influences, and those who consistently undermine your goals or self-worth should not have a place in your life. Choosing relationships wisely means having the courage to walk away from connections that do not serve your well-being or align with your purpose. Healthy relationships are built on trust, respect, and reciprocity. They involve people who challenge you to grow, inspire you to dream bigger, and hold you accountable to your potential. These individuals celebrate your successes and stand by you in challenges without envy or selfish motives. When you prioritize quality over quantity in relationships, you create a network that uplifts and empowers you. Being selective about relationships is not selfish. It is necessary for maintaining emotional and mental health. Every person in your life either contributes to or detracts from your journey. By choosing relationships wisely, you ensure that your inner circle is a source of strength, encouragement, and alignment with your greater purpose. In life, the boundaries you set and the principles you uphold shape the level of respect you command. Respect begins with how you treat yourself and the standards you enforce. It is not demanded, it is earned through consistency, self-awareness, and an unwavering commitment to your values. Let your boundaries be a reflection of your worth and a declaration of your purpose. The world will test your resolve, but never compromise on what defines you. Respect your time, stand firm in your principles, and choose relationships that align with your vision. When you live with integrity, clarity, and strength, respect becomes a natural byproduct of your character. Remember, the life you build and the respect you gain are directly tied to the boundaries you set today. Guard them fiercely, for they are the foundation of the legacy you leave behind. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am so grateful you have joined me today, and I can't wait to dive into something that has the power to change your life. Relationships are the foundation of human existence, but when trust is shaken, the entire structure begins to crumble. Trust is not something you demand, it is something you earn and nurture. The most powerful indicator of a strong bond is honesty. But what happens when honesty is absent and cracks begin to form in the connection? Words carry power. They reflect what is in the heart and mind. And sometimes the phrases people use reveal more than they intend. The first sign is when someone avoids responsibility for their actions. They may say things like, "Why are you always asking me where I've been?" Or, "You're overthinking things." These phrases are not merely deflections. They are walls built to avoid transparency. Trust thrives in clarity, but when there is evasion, the truth is hidden. Then there are those vague, generalized responses. When you ask for details and the answer is, "I was just out with some friends," it leaves more questions than answers. Such phrases are not just casual remarks. They are often crafted to keep you in the dark. A lack of specificity can be a mask for dishonesty. Defensiveness is another revealing sign. When simple questions lead to aggressive responses, it's not just about the tone, it's about what lies beneath. They might say, "Why don't you trust me?" Or, "You're acting crazy." Defensiveness is often a shield to protect something deeper, something they don't want to reveal. The only characteristic over assurance is also telling. When someone starts to repeatedly say, "You know I love you," or "You have nothing to worry about," without you expressing any concerns, it raises a question. Why the need to emphasize what should already be evident? Sometimes the louder the declaration, the weaker the conviction behind it. And lastly, there are phrases that shift blame or invalidate your concerns. Statements like "you're imagining things" or "it's all in your head" are not just dismissive, they are manipulative. Such words are meant to make you doubt your instincts and suppress your voice. They create confusion, so you stop questioning what needs to be questioned. Let me remind you, trust is not only built with actions, but also sustained by words. Pay attention to what is being said and how it is being said. A relationship rooted in integrity does not fear accountability. It welcomes clarity, embraces vulnerability, and thrives in truth. If someone consistently uses phrases that conceal, deflect, or manipulate, it is not just about the words. It's about the intent behind them. But let me leave you with hope. Relationships, even those on shaky ground, can be redeemed if both parties are willing to confront the truth and rebuild trust. Confrontation is not about accusation. It is about seeking understanding. And if a relationship cannot withstand the weight of honesty, perhaps it was not built on the foundation of love in the first place. Choose to value yourself enough to seek truth and protect your peace. Trust your instincts, but always back them with wisdom. When words align with actions and actions align with truth, you'll know you're standing on the solid ground of a genuine connection. Evasion of responsibility is one of the most telling signs that something is amiss in any relationship. When someone avoids being accountable for their actions, it often reveals an unwillingness to confront the truth or take ownership of their behavior. This can manifest in subtle ways such as deflecting questions or providing non-committal answers when clarity is sought. For instance, when asked about their whereabouts, they may respond with phrases like, "Why do you always need to know where I am?" Or, "Do you think I'm doing something wrong?" These statements may seem harmless at first glance, but they're designed to turn the focus away from them and shift it toward the person asking the question. This avoidance can create a cycle of doubt and confusion in the relationship. Instead of addressing the concerns raised, the individual sidesteps the issue entirely, leaving the other person feeling unheard or even guilty for asking. This tactic often serves as a shield to mask behavior they are not ready to admit. Over time, this pattern erodes the trust that holds the relationship together. Evasion can also take the form of minimizing the importance of their actions. They may downplay their behavior, saying things like, "It's not a big deal," or "You're overreacting." These phrases invalidate the concerns of the other person, creating an imbalance where one party feels dismissed while the other avoids accountability. The root of this behavior often lies in fear of consequences, fear of conflict, or fear of being exposed. By evading responsibility, they protect themselves in the short term, but cause long-term damage to the relationship. It creates a lack of transparency, making it difficult to foster genuine intimacy or trust. The inability to own up to one's actions speaks volumes, often louder than the words they choose to say. Generalized responses are often a subtle yet significant indication that something is being hidden or avoided in a relationship. When someone consistently gives vague answers to direct questions, it raises doubts about their transparency and honesty. These responses usually lack specificity and are crafted to prevent further probing. For example, when asked about their plans or activities, they may reply with, "I was just out," or "I've been busy with work." While these answers may seem harmless at first, over time, their lack of detail begins to feel intentional, leaving the other person with more questions than answers. This tendency to generalize is not always about the words themselves, but the avoidance of clarity. A person offering generalized responses often does so to create a barrier. By keeping their answers broad, they ensure there is little to no room for follow-up questions. This can create a sense of distance, making it hard for the other person to feel connected or included in their life. Generalized responses also make it easier to fabricate or manipulate information. When someone avoids being specific, they leave their statements open to interpretation, which allows them to adjust their narrative later if needed. For example, saying, "I was just with a friend," avoids naming anyone or explaining the context, giving them the ability to shift details if they are questioned further in the future. This lack of detail erodes trust over time. It creates an environment where the other person feels unsure of what to believe, leading to emotional instability within the relationship. Generalized responses are a subtle way of withholding information, whether consciously or unconsciously, and they ultimately prevent the open communication and transparency necessary for a relationship to thrive. Instead of fostering closeness, these vague answers build walls, keeping true intimacy at a distance. Heightened defensiveness is a strong indicator that someone may be hiding something or avoiding accountability in a relationship. When simple, straightforward questions are met with an overly defensive reaction, it signals that the individual may feel exposed or vulnerable about the subject being discussed. For example, instead of calmly answering, "Where were you last night?" with a clear response, they may react with hostility or irritation, saying things like, "Why do you keep questioning me?" Or, can't you just trust me for once? This shift in tone and attitude is often disproportionate to the question being asked, which raises concerns about what lies beneath their defensive behavior. Defensiveness often serves as a mechanism to deflect attention and turn the focus away from the original inquiry. Rather than providing clarity or reassurance, the defensive individual may try to shift the blame or make the other person feel guilty for even asking. Statements like, "You're always accusing me of something," or "You're being paranoid," are not designed to address the concern, but rather to shut down the conversation entirely. This tactic leaves the other person feeling dismissed, confused, and even questioning their own judgment. Heightened defensiveness also reveals an internal struggle within the individual, whether out of guilt, fear of being exposed, or a desire to maintain control of the situation. Their reaction is often rooted in a need to protect themselves. However, this defensive posture damages trust over time because it replaces openness with barriers. It prevents honest dialogue and creates an environment of tension where one party feels on edge and hesitant to bring up concerns. This behavior not only erodes communication, but also leaves the other person feeling invalidated and unsure of where they stand. The defensive individual may believe they are safeguarding themselves, but in reality, they are undermining the foundation of trust and intimacy in the relationship. Uncharacteristic overassurance is often an overlooked but significant behavioral shift that can reveal underlying dishonesty or guilt in a relationship. It involves excessive and unsolicited affirmations of loyalty, love, or trustworthiness, often delivered in a way that feels out of proportion or unnecessary. For instance, a partner who repeatedly says, "You know I would never do anything to hurt you," or "You don't need to worry about anything, I love you," without any prompting, may be trying to overcompensate for something they are hiding. While these phrases may seem kind or reassuring on the surface, their frequency and intensity can signal that they are meant to deflect attention or reduce suspicion. This type of behavior often stems from an internal conflict. When someone feels guilty about their actions or is afraid of being caught, they may try to cover up by preemptively addressing concerns that have not even been raised. By showering the other person with constant reassurances, they hope to divert attention away from their questionable behavior and create a false sense of security. However, over time, these excessive affirmations can start to feel forced or insincere, especially when they are inconsistent with other actions. Uncharacteristic overassurance can also be manipulative. It may be used to condition the other person into ignoring their instincts or dismissing red flags. When someone constantly says, "You can trust me," or "You're overthinking it," they may be subtly discouraging the other person from asking questions or seeking clarification. This creates an imbalance in the relationship, where one person feels validated only through words, while the other avoids accountability. Such behavior often raises doubts because trust in its truest form does not require constant verbal affirmation. It is demonstrated through consistent, honest actions. When words are used excessively as a shield, they often highlight the very insecurity or dishonesty they are meant to conceal. Shifting blame is a common tactic used to deflect attention from one's own behavior by redirecting responsibility onto someone else. In relationships, this can manifest in subtle but damaging ways that erode trust and open communication. When confronted about questionable actions or inconsistencies, an individual using this tactic might respond with statements like, "Why are you always accusing me?" Or, "If you trusted me more, we wouldn't have these problems." These responses are not designed to address the issue at hand. Instead, they are crafted to place the focus on the accuser, making them feel at fault for simply raising concerns. This behavior creates an imbalance in the relationship, where the person shifting blame avoids accountability while leaving the other partner burdened with guilt or self-doubt. Over time, it fosters an unhealthy dynamic in which the person on the receiving end begins to question their instincts, suppress their feelings, or avoid bringing up issues altogether out of fear of being blamed. This can lead to a loss of confidence in the relationship and ultimately in themselves. Shifting blame is also a way to avoid responsibility for actions that may not align with honesty or integrity. By making the other person feel as though they are the problem, the individual diverts attention from their behavior and creates a smokescreen to avoid further scrutiny. For example, when someone says, "You're just insecure," or "You're imagining things," they are dismissing valid concerns and placing the burden of resolution on their partner. This not only invalidates the other person's feelings, but also allows the individual to sidestep the conversation without providing clarity or reassurance. At its core, shifting blame is a defense mechanism, often rooted in fear of being exposed or unwillingness to confront the truth. While it may offer temporary relief to the individual, deflecting responsibility, it causes long-term damage to the relationship by undermining trust, respect, and open communication. Discrepancies in stories are a significant red flag in any relationship, as they highlight inconsistencies that often point to hidden truths or dishonesty. When someone provides explanations or recounts events that do not align over time, it creates confusion and raises doubts about their credibility. For instance, they may initially say, "I was at work late," but later mention, "I was out with a friend after work," without acknowledging the change in their account. These contradictions may seem minor at first, but become glaring when patterns emerge, making it difficult to trust their words. Such inconsistencies often occur because the person is fabricating details to cover up behavior they do not want revealed. When questioned about these contradictions, the individual might respond with defensiveness or further vague explanations rather than addressing the discrepancies directly. Discrepancies in stories also create emotional distance in a relationship. When one partner feels they cannot rely on the other's words, it undermines the foundation of trust that is essential for a healthy connection. It forces the person on the receiving end to second guess everything they are told, which can lead to feelings of insecurity and a lack of emotional safety. This environment breeds tension and mistrust, making it difficult to maintain open and honest communication. In some cases, these inconsistencies are not accidental, but rather calculated efforts to manipulate or confuse the other person. By providing conflicting information, the individual may be attempting to keep their partner off balance, ensuring they remain uncertain and hesitant to pursue the truth further. This tactic not only damages trust, but also weakens the emotional bond that holds the relationship together. Dismissal of concerns is a subtle yet harmful behavior that can erode the foundation of trust and respect in a relationship. It occurs when one partner invalidates the other's feelings, questions, or observations, often with the intention of downplaying an issue or avoiding accountability. Phrases like, "You're just being dramatic," or "You're overthinking everything," are common examples of dismissive responses. These statements are not merely casual remarks. They carry the weight of undermining the other person's experiences and emotions, leaving them feeling unheard and unimportant. This behavior creates an imbalance in the relationship where one person's perspective is consistently invalidated. When concerns are dismissed, it sends a message that the individual's feelings are not worthy of acknowledgement or discussion. Over time, this can lead to emotional frustration and self-doubt. The person whose concerns are dismissed may begin to question their instincts or hesitate to voice their feelings in the future, fearing they will be met with the same lack of understanding. This dynamic fosters resentment and can create a significant emotional disconnect. Dismissal of concerns is often used as a defense mechanism by individuals who want to avoid uncomfortable conversations or deflect attention from their own actions. By minimizing the importance of the issue, they seek to control the narrative and discourage further questioning. For instance, when someone says, it's not a big deal, or you're making something out of nothing, they're not only avoiding the issue, but also placing the burden of resolution on the other person, implying that the concern is illegitimate or unworthy of discussion. This behavior not only damages trust, but also silences the open communication necessary for a healthy relationship. When someone dismisses valid concerns, they are effectively shutting down opportunities for growth, understanding, and connection. It creates a cycle of avoidance and invalidation, which slowly erodes the emotional safety and intimacy that strong relationships require. In any relationship, trust is the foundation upon which everything is built. The moment signs like evasion, defensiveness, blame shifting, or dismissal of concerns begin to surface, it is a signal that the relationship is moving away from transparency and authenticity. These behaviors, though subtle, are not just cracks in communication. They are barriers to genuine connection and mutual respect. The strongest relationships are not those without challenges, but those where honesty prevails, accountability is embraced, and concerns are addressed with care, not contempt. If someone values you, they will not leave your questions unanswered, your feelings invalidated, or your trust compromised. Remember, you are worthy of truth, clarity, and respect. Do not settle for words that create confusion when actions should bring peace. A relationship built on honesty will stand firm, while one cloaked in deception will crumble under the weight of its own inconsistencies. Choose to protect your heart and prioritize relationships where truth, love, and integrity are the guiding principles.